This is John for Global Traveler Magazine. Today I have the pleasure of talking about music and travel with Haley Reinhart. How are you this morning, Haley?
I'm doing fantastic, John. How are you?
I am great. I am great. I'm coming off of seeing you two times in the Chicago area, both fantastic shows. I'll get
Thank
to
you.
that. Get to that in a few minutes. I'd like to take you back to your youth. I know you came from a musical family. So was music always going to be it for you, or was there ever a thought along the way of doing anything else?
I really never thought I'd be doing anything else. It was kind of more of a joke or a pipe dream to think of other ventures, but music was always it and a part of my family. And they didn't push it on me per se, but I just always told them outwardly that I already know this is what I'm here to do and learn from my parents. And yeah.
And I know you performed on stage with your both your parents, but when you went to American Idol, you were young. I mean, you're still young, don't get me wrong, but you were very young then. You seem to be very calm and having a lot of fun. How were you able to pull that together and do that? And were you as calm as it looked?
That's a great question. I mean, I think that the live performing aspect of my childhood really had helped me in that situation, taking a big stage in front of an actual audience. Um, the challenging part was more or less discovering how to connect with the camera. But as far as just getting up there on stage, it's just one of those things like riding a bike to where I get out there and the first note hits and it's exhilarating, but it's exactly where I want to be. So it's the good kind of nerves, you know what I mean?
Sure. And since American Idol, you've released several albums, EPs, CDs, whatever people want to call them. You haven't taken the conventional route, and I applaud it. I loved each one of them. What was your thought into doing that? Because you could have taken an easier route, maybe gone with more poppy, modern type songs, but you kind of are all over the board.
Yeah, I've come to a couple crossroads in my career, many really, where I could have just taken a lot of shortcuts. And I just really listened to my intuition and what my gut has told me along the way, and it hasn't led me wrong. I love so much music, and I just feel like I have this kind of duty and messages to send out to the universe. So I can't just fake the funk, as they say, or I have to honor what my inner truth is. And if that means a different kind of sound per album, which most of my favorite artists are the type that would evolve greatly and do different things and find different niches and pockets of creativity. So for me, that's just the natural progression that I think is just right and best for me.
And I've heard you describe yourself as an old soul. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, technically, I would never just claim myself to be that. And, after being a really young kid and having random people come up to me, whether they'd heard me sing or not, they would tell me that. And I just thought it was quite interesting. And I always identified with just different decades and eras. So I feel like I connect with, even when I go into a different room, particular location, I could just feel the kind of, interesting, like spiritual world that might be there. So like I'm tapped in to those things a lot. So I feel like, I certainly feel like I definitely could have been here before and lived many lives in different characters and such.
And going back to your family, your dad performs on stage. I don't know if he performs all the time with you, but I know he performs a lot. And it's not just a cameo. Your dad is an excellent musician, and you guys seem to have so much fun on stage. What does it mean to you to perform with your dad like that?
Yeah, it means everything to me. So it's nice to pay it forward, give it back to my parents. And dad is honestly one of the best guitarists in the world, in my opinion. So I get all, messed up when I think about it because, they made a lot of great sacrifices to have our family be what it is and stay kind of local and do their thing that way. But it doesn't take away from the gift and the talent. And so whenever I'm able to showcase that to folks, especially when we're closer to home and me doing this Midwest proper tour, I felt, well, hey, Dad, it's kind of the prime opportunity for you to hop on some of these dates. So it's always a joy, and he gives me that much more comfort when I'm on stage performing, because that's just what I've always known my whole life.
Is it more challenging for you or more fun for you to play in front of your home area? You got a lot of fans there, or I should say family, you've got a lot of friends there. Is it more of a challenge sometimes?
It can be a bit of pressure, or maybe just heightened excitement, because I have so many people that I actually know that are coming to see me. And but honestly, once again, as soon as I'm up there and hit that first note, it just, everything falls into place and it's one big party. So I've really had a blast with every crowd, and it's always nice to see your people, your family and friends smiling and cheering you on when you're on stage.
And I think I've seen you maybe 7 or 8 times in the Chicago area, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen you in the same venue twice. Is,
Cool.
is that because you're trying to just check out all the venues and try it out, or is it just the way it happens?
I think both. There's so much to see. So I'd love to explore. I mean, you have places like in LA where I've doubled up and played the Troubadour twice and the El Rey twice. But, to be able to go from something like Lincoln Hall to Park West, to the Piazza, it's just, it's nice to see what's out there. And I did leave pretty young. So I got some catching up to do with all these venues.
Well, speaking of venues, when you're picking venues or even cities for your tour, what goes into that?
Well, specifically on this Midwest tour, I wanted to specifically give some extra love and attention to the Midwest because of what they've done for me and how much support they gave me all the way back on the show. And it just was important for me to connect with these, cities that I had never been to. And some of them are, in the sticks. And it's just like really, really cool actually to connect with smaller towns and just make new connections with people and hopefully potentially build new fan bases, and they'll tell their friends and bring more next time. And, we just, I want to start to just be able to get out to as many new areas as I can.
And when you're writing songs or even covering other people's songs, how do you know when to stop? Like, how do you know when it's done? How do you know when I'm ready with this?
I will never truly be 100% satisfied, I think, with what I do. And, maybe it's that Virgo perfectionist thing inside me, but I think I've learned just to find that duality and the balance, and just learn to put the paintbrush down when it feels good. Because there's been things in the past when too many cooks are in the kitchen and it just comes off too cookie cutter, and that's not who I am. So I've learned that if there's a little bit of dirt on it, on the record or video or whatever it is, it's better to be more raw and authentic that way than to make it totally pristine and
Sure.
cookie cutter.
Now, your latest project, Off the Ground. What went into that? Well, and oh, by the way, I love the little movie that goes with it, the little video. That was so cool.
Yeah.
How did all that come to be?
That was really neat because I had just done We Can Be Heroes and acted in the Robert Rodriguez movie. And that was a dream come true already. And the man is so incredibly kind. And he just said, hey, if you want to do anything else for your own projects, I'd be happy to, because I'll be directing Mandalorian in LA. So we put our visions together, and I really wanted it to kind of be a very layered, complex, totally hyper conscious kind of video, and have people just be able to tap in if they wanted to. So playing those different characters and just channeling like all the parts of what that song means to me, just connecting with your higher self, accessing your full potential. All that stuff is super important. I think it's a good message, especially for the, our generation. So that was a thrill to work with Robert on that.
I really loved it. I thought it kind of blew me away. I just thought it was amazing, every aspect of it. I thought it was really cool.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you on behalf of all the fans. What's next for Haley Reinhart?
Well, it kind of always seems to flip flop. There's a cycle that goes on between artists and when they're recording, when they're writing, and when they're touring, and then the other fun stuff. So I am excited to dive back into the recording world, and I have some ideas. I'm always thinking a couple, maybe 10 steps ahead. So I want to do a whole lot more music. So I'm sure I'll be doing that and more touring. I might be doing some more West Coast states in the near future, and hopefully just a wider tour at the top of the year too. So we'll get working on that.
Now, I won't keep you too much longer. I just want to ask you a few questions about travel, if that's cool. You've been to a lot of cities. Is there any venue, any city where you haven't played that's on your bucket list?
Shoot. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm close to completing the journey of most cities. I don't know. There's many places I'd like to go back to spend more time. That's for sure. I know, honestly, I'll say this. I haven't played New Orleans on my own as much as I'd like to as well. And I did create somewhat of a fan base there after performing for years with the New Orleans Jazz Orchestra. And I just dig the whole crowd. I love the city so much. And I would love to go back there and spend more time.
Do you get to see much of the cities when you're performing?
It depends. Thankfully, I have a few days off here in Nashville, so I'll get to explore some. But I at least try to get out and do a little something, even if it's some kind of authentic dish, at a restaurant, or, just a hang with the band just to decompress after. That's nice. It depends on how grueling the schedule is, of course. And we've kind of had a grueling one this trip, but finally we'll have a few days to chill.
And when you're back in Chicago area, is there any must sees or must eats or must do other than, just spending time with your family and friends?
Sure. I mean, I not just for myself, but for the band or whoever I can introduce Illuminati's pizza, deep dish pizza to Bob Chin's, like a surf and turf, amazing place. There's definitely, I have my favorites. And if only I had more time back home, I would have loved to have shown the boys all of that and more.
Well, there's a Lou Malnati's about 4 blocks away from you right now, and now you've made me hungry.
No. Oh my God, I'm starving too. Also, the Green Mill, I would have loved to have shown the guys, just some of these proper, like really cool jazz spots and clubs, and seen some great music.
All excellent choices. I agree with you completely. Haley, really, I very much appreciate your time. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. Your concerts completely, every time I go to it, it just takes it to another level. And the last two in the Chicago area, 2 beautiful venues too, by the way. And seeing you up on it with the band and with your dad, it's just a phenomenal experience. I encourage everyone to check it out. I know you've got some stops left on the tour, the Off the Ground tour. So I encourage everyone to check it out. Is there any place that would you like to promote your website or your social media or anything?
Sure. Yeah. I'm at Haley Reinhart on just about everything, and HaleyReinhart.com/events. You can find the remaining tour dates and more to come very soon. And I hope you guys like the EP, whoever's listening, and thanks for checking it out.
Will you be coming back to the Chicago area?
I'm sure it won't be too long because I can't stay away from home for that long. So looking forward to another show there soon, hopefully, John.
Well, I will be there. If you're here, I will be there because I love your music. I've loved it for a long time. Haley, really, I thank you for your time. Good luck on the rest of your tour, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you and your energy that you always bring to the shows and the pictures we get to take. And you've always just been very kind. So I appreciate you, and thank you for spreading the word.
You have a great day, Haley. Thank you very much.
You too, John. Thank you.
Thanks.